did on time. We were actually, all the speakers were here and we were waiting for the audience. Actually, this is a series of ICs we've designed because I guess we get so much to learn on our academic front, on our skill sets, our knowledge, information, new technologies. But there is something else which needs to be upgraded. Let's face it, we are all, in a small way, entrepreneurs in our own right. And I feel all doctors are entrepreneurs. Little or big, but we all are entrepreneurs. And we, at the same time, are in a service industry. So this course is actually designed to make us understand what are the evolving needs of practice. So apart from your equipment, your technology, your infrastructure, your science, your surgical skills, these skill sets also need to be improved. It's like your Android phone keeps needing to get an update. How many of you keep updating your phone whenever you get an update? Your PC gets an update, your Apple gets an update. So practice management also needs an update. So this is a series which is evolving over time. Every year we do these series, we add new topics. So hopefully this should be of interest to you. So we will be trying to cover various topics like medical legal, what happens if you have a medical legal, how to prepare for it, how to ensure a patient delight when the patient walks into your clinic, and make sure that the patient is happy and delighted. A satisfied patient no more is the end point. You need to have a delighted patient, because the person next door has got a bigger clinic, better machines probably, better infrastructure. So what is unique you can do? You can give the patient a unique experience. How to do that? We will be talking about that. How to deal with patients who are unhappy. Let's face it, even the best of doctor cannot have 100% happy patients. As they say, even God couldn't make everybody happy. We always have complaints. We go to the temple and complain to God. So patients will have complaints. How to address them? How to make sure that they don't get escalated? How to have social media presence, because in today's world you cannot survive without social media. What are the rights and wrongs of social media? So we will be covering all those topics. So I will start with Dr. Sonu is getting late and I got a call from Dr. Satanshu. So I guess we will start with Dr. Anjani. You start. Dada.
A very good morning to all. I would like to thank the organizers and our chief instructor for making me a part of this prestigious conference. So this was a very dear patient of ours who happily consented for this picture. And whenever she would come to the OPD, she would say, "Beta, आधी बीमारी तो डॉक्टर से बात करके ही ठीक हो जाती है," which translates into that half of the disease is cured only if the doctor speaks to the patient nicely. She was making a very good point and teaching me a life lesson that it is not only the skill, the medications, the surgery, the technology we use to treat the patient, but a very important part is played by how we make the patients feel, how much trust we can gather, because now it's been proven that our thoughts can actually change the expression of our genes, change the proteins and the chemicals they produce. So if we think positive things, we are actually healing ourselves. So if we feel we are healed, we are actually healing. So in the next few slides, we will go over simple changes that we can make to our processes, to how we converse with the patients, to actually have delighted patients. Because a delighted patient will not only stick to you in your practice, they will get more patients, build the business, and also, more importantly, they will, their journey with the disease will be eased. So the first point of contact is social media. This is where a lot of patients are introduced to us by the means of patient reviews, educational videos. So this my colleague Dr. Isha will be speaking about later on. Now everything these days is delivered at our doorsteps. So getting an appointment with the doctor should also be easy. So make use of technology, make use of chatbots so that they can book appointments with you, reschedule the appointments and get in direct touch with you. Is your call center trained well enough to be polite to the patient? Do they listen to the patient? Are they courteous? And do they arrange a call back whenever asked for? Now, getting to a hospital, these are very small but very important things. Now, I was taking one of my family members to a multi-specialty hospital in my hometown, and I dropped them off to the reception, and it took me half an hour to actually look for a parking. And by the time we reached the doctor's office, we were all exhausted. Now, the second time I faced the same situation. The third time I took them to another hospital where there was a designated parking, a person who was guiding how to park, a person assisting with a wheelchair. So these are not deal breakers for a hospital, but yes, if these are there, it makes the experience of the patient and their family quite easy. Because see, getting an elderly patient, a wheelchair-bound patient, to the hospital is a task in itself for the family. So if you have a dedicated person to guide, to pull the wheelchair, and to guide them at each step, it takes a lot of mental load off the patient and their family. Now, ensuring a smooth flow from the registration up till the checkout. How do we do that? Registration, once the patient enters, if you have a single server and you have long queues, that itself indicates to the patient that the hospital is not very well managed, and that deters the patient's perception. So having 2 to 3 servers always helps, and having different lines for different categories of patients. Like what we do is tag the vulnerable patients like elderly, pregnant, and with small kids. So at each step, starting from the optometrist to the doctor consult, they are seen at priority, which saves a lot of time for them. Post-operative patients have already undergone a surgery, so they shouldn't be made to wait. So what we do is have separate slots for post-operative patients and see them quickly. New versus old patient and appointment versus walk-in patients, we should have separate slots, and have a good buffers in your appointment slot so that any delays can be absorbed there. Despite best of our efforts, delays are bound to happen if you're stuck in the OR or if some technical glitch happens. Always communicate. How should the waiting room be? Well lit and comfortable. If there is a person to guide and solve the queries, that itself allays a lot of anxiety in the patients. Have a board displaying the order of consultation. So patients are not unaware when their turn is going to come. They're not getting up again and again and asking you when when the doctor is going to see me, and they're sitting comfortably. Now, these are the proven behavioral principles of waiting, that idle waiting always seems longer. Turn it into a value-added time. Have screens where education videos are playing, have pamphlets about eye education that they can read, and their time, also learn in the process. Group waiting is easier. Have patients share the experiences. Tell your happy patients to share the experiences. Uncertain and unfair waiting always seems longer. So there was one of our retina patients we diagnosed in the morning as PDR and advised a laser for them. So the patient came up to me and said, "Doctor, I have a diabetologist appointment also, and my son has taken leave today itself to show me to different doctors." So what we guided him, that gave him a specific time, come back after 2 hours, and at that time we'll do your laser. So by that time I was finished with my OPD, he had finished 2 of his consultation, and we comfortably finished his laser. So it was a win-win for both the parties. So communication always helps you and the patient plan their day better. So irrespective of whether the processes were good or bad, the only experience they are going to remember and the only face they are going to remember is you. The doctor is the most important link. So if we are respecting the patient, giving a good behavior, that also sets an example for our staff to behave the same way. So in our busy practices, just remember, when the patient is coming in, are we making an eye contact? Are we smiling at the patient? Are we getting up, holding doors for them? Helping the elderly from their wheelchair to the examination chair? The sweetest sound to a person is their own name. So are we addressing them by their name? Are we showing them respect? A doctor always should be a good listener. Remember their stories. A lot of their symptoms, a lot of their anxiety will be allayed only if you hear the patient, because after that they'll feel heard. There will be a lot of clues to their symptoms in the stories they are telling. And if you remember small things, that will build a very good relationship with the patient. Like one of our patients came with a retinal detachment, and he said, "I don't want to get this surgery done right now." On asking him further, he said, "It's my daughter's wedding in 2 months." So we allayed his anxiety, we explained how important the procedure was. He got the surgery done, and at each post-operative visit, we would just ask him, how the preparations coming along? How is your daughter doing? So at the end of the treatment, in his last visit, he was treated. He actually got his daughter along, and they thanked the whole team for the personalized care that they received. It was not a big thing on our part, but yes, it set a tone for a good relationship with the patient. Respect their beliefs, make them an equal party in decision, and always encourage for a second opinion in special situations. There is no shame in admitting that something is beyond our skill, and it is always good to have a second opinion or opinion of a colleague or a senior if you're in doubt. So, as important is a good surgery or treatment, communication and counseling are as important. Especially important is a positive communication. Now, if we start telling the diagnosis and focus on the negative aspects for a patient, what happens is they get into a negative spiral of thought, and they will be closed off to what we have to tell them further. So it's always good to focus on the positives so that they are encouraged to get the treatment done and to comply with the treatment. So showing them the light in the darkness always helps. One of our patients came back and said, "Doctor, when we had gone to multiple doctors before this, and we were very scared of our disease and how we're going to deal with this. But coming here, talking to everyone, we feel better. We feel better, and we feel that we can do this. We can make the journey with the disease." Open communication is as important, and at the end of the consultation, always ask, "Is there anything else you want to ask?" so that the patient can come up with more queries and they can go back satisfied. Complications are bound to happen. It is always good to be honest about them and tell them right away. Support them through all the complications, the management of the complications. This will either help them heal or accept the disease and make the journey with the disease easier for them. So happy patients will get you more patients if, number one, you're providing the standard of care which is at par with the present standards of care. Again, if there is something that you think is beyond your skill set, it's always good to tell the patient and good to have a second opinion. We as doctors should always be available for the patients, solving their queries in the diagnosis stage, during the treatment, and even after treatment. So if we are providing these two, we will have patients who will tell their neighbors and friends, "Look, I went to this doctor, I was treated well, you should go there too." And there is nothing more powerful, there is no more, publicity more powerful than the word of mouth. See, advertisements, marketing, flashy ads will get the patients into the clinic. But good treatment, standard of care, and patient-centered treatment will retain those patients and get you more patients by the word of mouth. It's also important to train your staff in compassionate care from the first person of contact to the last. It is important to do good surgeries, to give good treatment, and it is more important to help them in the follow-up care. Have, use phone calls, SMS or emails to remind them of their post-operative care, to remind them of their appointments. Make 24/7 support available so that they can reach you in case of any concerns or complications. Have feedback mechanisms in place to keep improving the services. What is not measured is not achieved. So are the patients going back delighted? There are specific measures for that. How you can do this is when you're registering new patients, just ask them who sent you. So if they are quoting your previous patients, you know that patients going out of the clinic are going happy. Regularly collect feedback from the patients to assess the satisfaction level, and there are some key performance indicators like patient retention rates, appointment no-show rates, and patient referrals. So track improvements in the patient's experience over time. So I would like to end with this, that this small things matters, and every step matters in the patient experience. Aim towards treating the patient as a whole than just the eye, and more satisfied patients may just lead to less diseases overall. Thank you for your time.
I think that was very well covered. So take home points for, you see, it's not about having a big or a small organization. I'm sure some people will be kind of in awe that, Dr. Anjani just talked about having a front desk and a reception and a call center. For a small practitioner, you can have a dedicated one staff who's responsible for patients' happiness. I can tell you that staff of 20, 30, 35,000 rupees you give will give you returns 50 times. You just need to open your minds. I'll give you an example. I am a member of some clubs. There are 5-6 restaurants in that club. I prefer going to one restaurant in the whole club because the manager of the club welcomes me by my name. Hello, Dr. Kapoor, how are we today? Will you have your favorite Mediterranean platter? Do you want the seat by the swimming pool? Now, a lot of my friends say, "Tum har baar isi mein jata?" I said, I feel welcome. The whole club, I can walk into any restaurant in the club, but that one manager remembers me, calls me by my name, makes sure he serves my beer the way I want, the bread the way I want, and all. What is happening? The other restaurants in the clubs are losing business. So this is what you can differentiate your practice from. If your patient goes back happy and fulfilled, he has no choice to come back to you. So your next door competitor will also do the same surgery. But can he be you? He cannot be you. So what is unique in your practice is not your surgery, it's the person contact. So having one person in your organization who's just responsible to make sure that the patients are going happy, give that person a good salary. Pick up a person who's got a very positive personality, speaks well, smiling, very friendly. Give them this job. जो अंदर आ रहा है उसको अपने वेलकम करना, अच्छे से बात करना है, जाते हुए make sure he goes back happy. That one person will give you 10 times his revenue of salary. I can underwrite, put a stamp on it, and you'll come back and thank us the next year. So after that, I think I'll call Dr. Vineet. Dr. Vineet is a very, very social media savvy. I'm sure a lot of you would be knowing him. He's all over the social media, conducting teaching programs. He was with Unacademy, Byju's. He's a master of social media. So here's Dr. Vineet to us.
Can I have my slides, please? So first of all, I thank Kamal sir and AIOC for giving me this opportunity. And we have this special instruction course where we talk about the things which are not taught in our medical colleges. So Anjani ma'am told us about the patient referrals and how to basically deal when the patient, how the patient comes and how the patient goes, why it is important to you. And I would be talking about how to talk with the patient. बात कैसे करनी है? तो जैसे मैम ने बताया था कि lot of things go in a straight way if we talk good to the patient. Can I have my slides, please? So that we would be talking about. So sir, my topic is master the art and science of patient conversation and conversion. So कैसे आप बात करेंगे and after उससे बात करने के बाद वो patient आपसे treatment लेगा, surgeries कराएगा, ये हम आज बात करेंगे. So first of all, what is the meaning of patient conversation? It is exchange of information between a patient and a doctor. So patient comes to my OPD and he tells us about his disease, and the doctor first listens it and then the doctor provides the information how to basically go forward in this disease. So what is the importance? We have all the reports. So sometimes patient comes and shows me, sir, ये सारी reports हैं, ये देख लीजिए. मैंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, आप बैठिए, चलिए बात करते हैं. So it's not only just the reports that we see, it is how we talk to the patient that is important. Why? First of all, it helps in the treatment compliance. I am not an AI that you just put your reports in Chat GPT and Chat GPT tells you about the diagnosis and the treatment. We are more than that. Patient feels supported and connects to the healthcare provider. Now he knows that this is the person which I should contact and he would basically make me disease free. Third, it helps in better understanding and subtle clues which can go a long way in the diagnosis and treatment. So sometimes a very small thing which the patient tells you would tell how to manage this patient and what is the diagnosis. It helps in understanding the special needs of the patient which can be taken care of. That I would show in 2 examples. So my first case, one is, sir, a 65-year-old male patient presents to the OPD and he was very aggressive with the staff. On entering the OPD, he argued with the doctor also, and he says that, sir, I am very uncomfortable in every hospital that I come, so I am not taking the medication. He is a glaucoma patient. So there are 2 scenarios. So the first scenario is, the doctor greets him well. He tells his PCT, to get a tea for the patient. He apologized for the inconvenience caused unintentionally, but he is firm that in a hospital setup, sometimes there can be a waiting. So you have to be firm also. You are not doing this deliberately. The patient listens and tells that his specific problem is going to a toilet on wheelchair. So actually that was his problem. The doctor asked the center manager to help the patient and guide him for the disabled friendly washroom. So we have everything in our hospital, but still the patient is unhappy. Just listening to him, now he is happy. The scenario 2 is doctor also got agitated. He told the patient to never visit his hospital and go to a place of her own liking. And when the patient is leaving, he tells the patient that your miserable condition is just because of your rude behavior. So which would you prefer? The same patient, the same, everything is same, but through one, the patient now gets a solution to his problem. He sticks to the treatment as his vision is saved. Now this is the case 2, sir. A 45-year-old male who is a yoga teacher was diagnosed elsewhere as a patient of disc suspect. So many patients we are seeing which are glaucoma suspect. And he is referred by a general ophthalmologist to me for the consultation. He was really tensed and he read Google Baba, and now he thinks that everything is gone, my life is root. So the scenario 1 is he came to a hospital and the doctor also, he told him that this is a blinding condition and if not treated in time, you can go blind, you need a thorough checkup, and writes 7 tests: gonioscopy, fundus photo, OCT, pachymetry, visual field applanation, tonometry, a 7,000, 8,000 rupees bill. He's a yoga teacher, he might not be having that affordable. And the patient is already gone. And patient leaves without getting any of the tests done. Now he is in depression. Now the same thing, scenario 2. The doctor greets the patient and tells, though the optic nerve is a little suspicious, still he has come at an appropriate time. He is a patient of just dissuspect. I say to him that your pressures are okay, you do not need to worry, and with the help of modern diagnostic and treatment, you can live throughout your life comfortably. Like a lot of patients who are on anti-diabetic medications, anti-hypertensive medication, they are living comfortably. Similarly, you would be also living comfortably. You might need a medication. Talks about him, about his apprehensions. I told him he's a yoga teacher, so he was doing Shirshasana and all that stuff, which might increase the intraocular pressure. I tell him to just avoid that. Lifestyle modifications need to be done, and then tell that, okay, these are few tests that need to be done once in a year as per your comfortability. If you need any discounts, you can come to us, but make sure that he basically is contented and he basically sticks to the treatment. So the same thing, everything is same, but the results are different. So I'm just showing you a video. After that, I would be talking about the rest of. Can I have the voice, please?
Voice.
Volume. नहीं कैसे हैं आप?
ठीक है
सब ठीक है
जी।
तो आप काला मोतिया के लिए आज दिखाने आए थे?
काला मोतिया के लिए आए थे।
चलिए, तो आज हम थोड़ा सा एक बार आपको देख लेते हैं। और आपके साथ भी कोई है?
नहीं, मैं
आप अकेले आए हैं? ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं हुई आपको यहाँ पर? ठीक है, एक बार आप चश्मा उतार लेंगे, मैं आपको देख लेता हूँ। ग्रीट द पेशेंट। आफ्टर ग्रीटिंग द पेशेंट, वी एग्जामिन द पेशेंट। क्या आप थोड़ा सीधा देख सकते हैं? वेरी गुड। So we examine him briefly. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली जैसे कि हम काला मोतिया के बारे में बात कर रहे थे, तो जैसे सफेद मोतिया और भिन्न होता है, काला मोतिया होता है। We talk about the patient, about the disease. कमजोर होने को कहते हैं, तो कोई परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है। Tell them, reassure the patient. टेस्ट के द्वारा you are a healer, not only just a treatment provider. आप सब इलाज करते हैं। जैसे आप ये देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर वीडियोस में कि काला मोतिया कैसे होता है, या आप कुछ
Whatever
images
you
देख सकते हैं।
tell to the patient, show the scientific evidence.
तो दिखाऊंगा तो आपको दिखेगा कि आपकी भी कुछ ऐसी है, तो ये अर्ली स्टेज ग्लोकोमा है जो कि किसी भी
So basically why I showed you the video. So whenever the patient comes, always respect. What is the meaning of respect? R means repet. Make an eye contact when he is talking to you. Don't be on your mobile. Okay? Explain the disease. Explain why you are getting the treatment done. What are the tests that you want? Show his fundus photograph. Show his clinical photograph to him. Practice. Ask about the feedback, and as Dr. Anjani told us, that ask if there is any query that the patient can have. Empathize. Very important is doctor, empathy. You always tell the patient that I am with you. Whatever the bad thing happens to you, I would always stand with you. Collaborate. Ask the attendant. Let's say the patient is having some cardiological problem. You ask your cardiologist, or you tell the patient that I can basically consult to your cardiologist and basically do your treatment accordingly. And use technology, use AI tools, show the research. If you are doing it MIGS, microinvasive glaucoma surgeries, tell what is the latest things that going on. So always respect. Now I come to the second part of my topic, that is economics of patient conversion, from advisors to doers. So everyone has a lot of setup, have put capital there. Now you want that whenever the patient comes, he should at least take your treatment. So as an ophthalmologist, what we do, sir, we basically prescribe medicines, we do some diagnostic tests, and we do the surgeries. So from advice, now it should be done. If you just advise and the patient is not basically complying to the treatment, it is not basically adding value to your organization. So what is the things which I want to basically tell you in briefly? So whenever you tell about the diagnostic test, please explain why you are getting that done. If you are talking about perimetry, tell the patient that sometimes what happens is there is a field of constriction. It would basically be better if you do a perimetry, because even subtle changes can be picked up. If you are doing an OCT, you tell why you are doing an OCT, what is the basic aim of doing OCT, and how would you proceed if there is any problem in the OCT. And the rest of the things, whenever you get it done, please tell the patient why they are important. Similarly, medicines. Lot of patients are basically being provided medicines, at least in chronic scenarios like retina or glaucoma. You tell the patient that, okay, you have to take the medicines, and what the patient would do is go outside your hospital and purchase the medicine. Most of the hospitals now have in-house pharmacy. So you tell the patient that please take the medicine from my pharmacy, and I would tell you how to put a medicine. So when the patient gets the medicine, you yourself tell the patient that, okay sir, this is how you have to put the medicine. That would be the confidence giving to the patient, and he would put the medications in a proper way. Also, just 2 minutes, sir. Also tell the patient that it is very important that you take genuine medicines, it should not be spurious. Similarly, surgeries. You tell the patient why there is a need for surgery, and just tell the patient that even after surgery, you don't have to basically have 1 month before you go to your daily routine. You can be back within 2 to 3 days to your normal practice. Tell the patient that it is the only one-time surgery if you are doing a cataract surgery, and get the best thing that is possible for you under your budget. Always keep the things open. If the patient does not get the investigations done from you or surgeries get done from you, still contact the patient. Ask him why you have not done this. Are you not going for the surgery, or there is some financial issues, if I can provide any discounts if possible. And do not over aggressively push the patient. If you are doing it over aggressively, what he would do, what we would do in our mobile, we block the number. Similar thing the patient would do with you. So thank you very much, sir.
I think that was a very, very lucid talk, and again the take-home message is that the patient should be felt heard, and the patient should be felt that he's been taken care of. If you can do that, and a very powerful punchline which Dr. Vineet told her here was, we are not doctors as treating, we are healers. Sometimes healing is not just medication and surgery. Sometimes empathy is a big part of healing. Feeling with the patient, for the patient, is also a part of healing. So as doctors, I'm sure when we all became doctors and went to medical college, we all thought that's who we were. So I think we need to go back to our ground. So at least in our organization, I make sure and show that with all my doctors that, I always tell them that my biggest kick is when the patient is getting off the surgery table and he smiles and says, "Doctor, when can I get the second eye done?" That is your certificate. When a patient comes saying, "Doctor, this is my neighbor, he was going to this guy's practice, today I've taken a leave to get him to show you," that is your certificate. So sooner or later, if these things are happening, you're doing something right. You don't need to follow the competition in doing whatever they do. You just do these basic things. And if you see that these patients are following you, the patients are referring patients to you, you're on the right path. So I think, Dr. Vineet, wonderful talk.
Thank you.
Dr. Sonu, you want to go next? So I present you Dr. Sonu. He's again a very busy practitioner. You all know him. He's a dear friend. And Sonu will be talking about, there's a predicament, a lot of predicament in the practitioners, whether you do a solo, joint practice, join a corporate, or do a job. So what are the options available and pros and cons of all?
Thank you, Kamal, for making me part of the course. And I think you are such a powerful, inspirer, speaker. And I really, great fan of your skills. Thanks again for making me part of this course. And I'm sure the audience sitting here would definitely benefit and translate this to their practice.
Audio है? अच्छा, Mac के साथ ये problem आती है.
So I think this is one situation when we graduate and move out of the medical school or college and do some kind of a fellowship, and then the question is, what's the road? Private practice, solo, joint, job, and what are the pros and cons of each? So the various type of practices that you have or you can have is an individual based practice, a group or a team based practice, or a corporate based practice, an academic career in research, or then you join a government or a charitable institution or job. Now what are the pros and cons of each? So once you have been through the fellowship program, or you've been through the research and teaching, or you wish to go out, you want to do a freelancing, or you want to start your own practice, or you want to join an existing practice or a group of people who have been doing here, or join as a consultant in an eye care chain. So solo practice, when I started 25 years back, I would just quote, my parents were doctors, are doctors, and they were into government service. But all throughout their career, I was just fed up of their transfers every 2 years or 3 years. They were leading gynec and surgeons, but every 2 years, 3 years, they would end up into one other medical college, and we were feeling a little hurt for that. So there and then I promised that whenever I would start on my own, because I thought that would give me that thrill and the pride. Complete freedom. I can make decisions on my own. I can learn from my setbacks. So whatever small structure that we started, at least I have that ownership. And then I can grow it at a pace, and the feeling that I am my own boss always remains. But is that actually true in today's scenario? So when you talk of individual based practice, it's basically you are owning the practice. You as an individual are making all the decisions. In short, you are taking care of the entire issues. But advantages, you are the sole owner. All profits come to you. You have the potential of more earnings compared to the employed positions, because you can control your own bills, your own fees, and your practice revenue. You have the ability to retain a higher percentage of income after covering the entire overhead cost, or at some times you can cut down these overhead costs whereby you can have the entire profits. Your name and fame is your own. I mean, it comes to you only. You can have flexibility hours. You work as per your own wish. You can titrate your time, your schedule, and you are not accountable to any third party for any kind of the targets which have to be met. The only argument and the issue which lies, and which actually I also suffered, is the family. So, and the biggest, the sufferer is the poor spouse. So she gets, actually less of, the attention, and she is the real sufferer. So this is one of the drawbacks. When you have your own practice, the family actually suffers. But then it has to be balanced between the two worlds. The advantages, I was able to build patient relationship, building long-term relationship. Even 20 years back, the family that I treated now gets their kids for the smile or the laser procedures to me. So I think that bond, that connect still remains and holds very true because of that personalized care and continuity of the services that we have been rendering for the 3 generations now. So their grandparents, their parents, and now the kids. So I think that is one very rewarding or heartwarming, as Kamal said, that empathy. So that empathy still continues, and that's what has brought up and connected with the patients. And then that is the encashing on the word of mouth and the popularity. So one patient getting another patient, and then the cycle starts. So solo practice has the thrill, the advantage, the adventure, but the infrastructure, equipment, finances, strategy, and this is the slide that I share from Kamal, but then you need a team. So there are certain challenges. You need high investment. So as an ophthalmologist, I wonder when I go to the trade and talk to these people selling microscopes and phaco machines, I'm pretty surprised. Each microscope costs nothing than 40 lakhs. Each phaco machine costs nothing than 50 lakhs. So for a beginner to establish their own practice is more than crores. So you need huge investment. You have to manage the human resources. You have to manage those compliances. NABH has become almost mandatory if you want to have those government empanelments. And then you have to have competition, not only from the corporates, but your own colleagues practicing next door. You have to have time for yourself and your family, and you have to have a support system when you have a challenging situation and the patient comes saying, look doctor, I'll see you in the court of law. So you need to have a good support which gives you both mental and legal support system, and those legal hassles are taken care. So I think if you're strong, if you are willed, that's the right step to go in. So the disadvantages again, the expertise in managing personnel, dealing with challenges, and the constraints on access to capital, because initially people end up taking huge loans from the banks which they are unable to repay. A lot of examples which I know for youngsters, and they end up joining or selling their practices. So I think a balance of the two worlds is very, very important. Don't be impulsive, don't be rushing to just surrender to the competition and just start boasting with all those fancy gadgets in the initial stage of your practice. So no financial risk, and the administrative burden should initially be taken. So the downsides of these are the technological upgradation pressures. So if you have a peer pressure, if you have your colleagues coming up with some MS39 and you don't have a pentacam, the other says that I have an optical biometer, you are running an ANI-scan. So I think these are those technological upgradation pressures which actually should not be taken and should be balanced with the kind of finance or the kind of revenue that you have. Don't go what is in the air. Don't go with what people advertise. You be strict with your own finances and your revenues, and then the investments. The other option could be joining an existing practice. The advantages, you have a fixed income. So at the end of the day, after a month, I'm getting a fixed income. You get more time for yourself and your family. You're working in a limited hours. There are no worry about the compliances in the investment. So if your personality is not that kind of the type A or achiever's kind, and you want to get your life slow and life balanced, I think that's the way to go. And there are no worries about the compliances and the investment. You have already access to all the infrastructure and the equipment, and you can have that access to all the latest gadgetry. But then sometimes it looks as if that the thrill and the adventure is missing, where that connect with your patient as an individual practitioner is not there. But there are certain challenges to this also, because the mindset and that operation freedom is not there. When you're working in a group or with somebody, there is always that kind of bounding to that the operational team that you have on top of you. There are limited learning, as seniors may keep the cards close to themselves. So they would always want to have all the conferences and the learnings to them, and they would make the juniors work. It's some kind of a self-centered practice. There could be lack of long-term growth opportunities at these places because your youth, as a youth, it's the first initial 15 years of your practice where you actually feel you can, move the market. And if those glorious 15 years are lost, thereafter you cannot think of converting to an individual or your own practice. So the decision has to be taken very smartly, and sometimes it could be a lack of organizational approach. So working in a group of skilled surgeons of different or the same subspecialty, we've seen a lot of people tying up with different subspecialties where there's a common reception and there are different chambers where the patients from different specialty would walk and they share the operation theaters and the ORs and the diagnostics. So I think that can also be a good option if you feel threatened with your own specialty colleagues, or the practice could be with the same colleagues of the same specialty and maybe sharing days as the group practice may be. So sometimes it can have a lot of downsides also. Your personal time or your leaves are dependent on the availability of the replacing surgeons. Sometimes you feel there is some kind of a disparity or some kind of an ego clashes which usually tend to occur once all of your colleagues start establishing and doing good in their group practice, and the investment for all the equipment is shared, but you can't then say that it's my own. So that kind of feeler is not there, and sometimes on a long term that kind of an insecurity may creep in, and a lot of times we have seen in the present scenario that the personality issues may also come in. The third option could be joining Dr. Kamal Kapoor as a chain of eye care, and I think that's again one of a very good alternative because that gives you the advantage of exposure to a good infrastructure and equipment. I think most of the eye chains are now equipped or they start with good baseline equipments. So at least you in your initial years have an access to good infrastructure and equipment. I'll just take a minute more. So you can have that feeling of that brand strength and the pride. You can choose the geographic locations. Your income is quite stable. You can have a good, better or a work-life balance, and you have the opportunities to grow and learn and partner. So the more you work, the work is shown, and you have the kind of scaling up that you can have. That feeling from me to us should be there, which is a limitation of being a single practitioner. So I think joining as a consultant in an eye care chain gives you that opportunity to follow your passions, and it's a good opportunity because you can follow those continuous technological advancements, you can follow those defined systems and processes, complete backup, but there are certain challenges. You have to have a mindset to work under those defined protocols, to understand the business objectivity and correlate in your day-to-day working. I mean, they would always want more of surgical procedures, more of diagnostics, but then it has to be an individual-based ethical approach whenever you're working with such places, so that you don't fall pressure to the revenue generation, but as ethics, priority and the patient first, follow that. Sometimes there could be cross-functional alignment. You have to have compliance to the EMR because most of these would follow those EMRs, and understanding the escalation metrics. So all of these have advantages and disadvantages, and ultimately depends upon your own personality. And initial 10 years are the formative years where you have to take that decision, because in these 10 years is what you can actually transform yourself into a good practitioner. But at the end of the day, with my own personal experience, I would just like to share, as Kamal said, you have to be ethical, you have to be empathy, you have to have that empathy to the patient. So I think patient first, and that is what patient also realizes. 1 in 100 patient might screw you, may misbehave, may do all those hassles with you, but 99 of the patients are still those good people who would always stick to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sonu. I think it was a very, very lucid talk about options of joint practice, private solo practice, joining a group. I'm sure it opens a lot of questions. Now, this is a very interesting topic. We all talk about branding. We will talk about social media branding, pearls and pitfalls. But here I present to you Dr. Satanshu. He's known for his humor and wit and raw power of speech. He will talk about how to brand internally in your clinic without being non-ethical. Over to Dr. Satanshu.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I differ from my friend Kamal. You can have branding with ethical practice. We are doing it and you can also do it. Next, karo. Next. Nahi ho raha. Yes. So, what is branding? Branding nothing like we are not going to like the five-star hotel Taj or Vivanta. Branding is making your name in that area, establishing yourself. Patients coming not by your name but name of the hospital. I am sitting here, my hospital is going on. I am a solo practitioner. Hospital is going on without my physical presence because I have made a brand there. Patients are not coming to I. Still, I am not losing any economy. You people must be losing economy. You are sitting here. But I am not losing in my economy. Everything, investigation, diagnosis, everything is going on except surgery. Because they have got the branding. So this is your aim, should be aim. We want to stay up, timer laga dena bol dena, endless topic hai. You have to decide yourself, whether you want to reach to first step or you want to reach step. When I entered my practice from the first day, I thought of reaching the topmost. I am still finding what I can go beyond that top. Because it fall from there. So beware. So, branding, marketing strategy. What business we are? What is the brand? You should know. I'm just coming fast because there are a lot of things to be discussed. A lot of things that brand is not a logo. That like a logo. You put a logo, Apollo, Hospital, we have to give the facility for that. And then second thing, a brand is not an identity. आपने brand बना लिया और आपका नाम हो गया, ताज चल रहा है, ताज facility नहीं है, आपका नाम चलेगा. This is not the things. You have to follow certain rules and regulation. A brand is not a product that you can sell in market. So what actually is the brand? This is the brand. A brand is a person gut feeling about a product, service or information. Suppose we enter in the Apollo Hospital, Medanta Hospital. A gut feeling comes inside, oh, okay, this hospital is good. Service must be good. Doctor must be good. So this gut feeling should come when you enter in the premises. That is the brand. Why hospitals? Everybody say hospitals are the like a temple or like doctor like a god. Don't make a fool by them. They are making a fool of you. Don't try to become a god. We have been trying to become god for last 30 years and make a fool. Discount चाहिए सर आप तो भगवान हैं. दूसरे से ले लेना हम तो गरीब हैं. अब forget about these things. Poor को help करो. अमीर को छोड़ो नहीं. The step is establish a new brand, how to grow a brand. And when you are helping the poor, let the other people should know you are helping the poor. When a poor people come to my clinic, I say, okay, give him concession, give him medicines, everybody should see. So that is brand. You are helping the others also in the society. Because we are living in a human society, we have to be mercy on the poor or needy people. Why establish a brand? You can see, can you recognize any different cow? All are same? You want to be same in the crowd of the doctors sitting in your line, 20 doctors? No, I don't like. Same products, you go to market, एक सफाई वाला बिस्कुट दे रहा है, कोई उसे उठा के जो बिस्कुट सा दे रही है आपको. Would you like to change the biscuit? Because it is not a brand. I want to be red ball, differentiated from the others. If 100 doctors in my city, I am different. But I don't want to be the white balls. So you have to establish yourself to come to this level. It is not a one-day job, but it is can be done by individual practitioners just like me, who's sitting in the smallest city, anybody will be practicing. My city is the smallest city, I can guarantee you, but brand is there. A brand reduces the need to compete on price alone. When you have the brand, you don't need. Otherwise, person, बगल वाला तो 5,000 रुपए ले ले, मैं कहा भाई जा, मैं फोन कर दूँगा 4,000 ले लेगा. If you are come to my brand, you have to follow rules and regulation. अपोलो वेदांता में जाके तो हम लोग भागे नहीं करते ना. 5-star होटल में आके तो नहीं करते, तेरी दाल 500 रुपए की 400 रुपए की कर दे, ढाबे पे करते हैं. So if you have brand, nobody will bargain with you. This is the advantage of brand. Important is brand give you also important for the employees. Employees अगर एक अच्छी brand में काम करें, they will not leave you alone. Otherwise, what happens? Employee get an offer from other person, nearby person. You teach them, you educate them, you make them responsible. They go away. But if you have a brand and nearby there is no brand, employee will never leave you. Taj people will thought and time to go a low brand. So this thing is that employee also gets satisfied. The power. The power brand important is like focus. You have to focus on one special thing, why you are special. Focus, focus, and focus. The three things are important. I will give you an example. There are two types of wealth where you can go. Existing and new category, create a new category. All doctors are doing the FACO, you are also doing the FACO, you are not the FACO. You create some category which is not there in your area, that will make the brand immediately. Otherwise, this is known as blue ocean strategy. How to create uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. Kamal has done so many things, marketing, the social marketing, video, I am doing this thing, this special, other than what my neighbor is not doing. So these things make you uncontested because you are in the blue zone. In red zone, I am doing FACO, I am doing foldable lens, everybody is doing it. You make something different. What I am doing, I am doing MICS, I am doing laser assisted surgery. So this makes you brand and establish yourself in the market. Examples of Blue Ocean, Arvind Hospital. They started from doing poor people. Now they are making money. More than poor, they have the rich people now. They are paying them. But they started from the operating poor people. They made a strategy. Himalayan drugs started from the Ayurvedic drugs. At that time, there was no Ayurvedic medicine. Official certified medicine were available, and they went there and they have succeeded now. Now there are thousands, but Himalayan is allowed. The birth of a brand is achieved with publicity, not advertising. Main thing, invest in your people. When you are making a brand, you have to invest in your own people. Investing means your employees should be satisfied. You should pay highest amount in nearby area what they are getting. You should make a family atmosphere in your hospital. Your employee will be satisfied. Your counselor will be satisfied. Then only he make the earn money for you. नहीं तो कौन हम लोग जब जॉब करते थे तो हम कहते हैं बॉस से पैसे तो दिए हम 20 ऑपरेशन क्यों करें चल 500 भगा दो आज का तो बीपी बढ़ गया. But if we were getting incentive at that time, we would have operated in not 20 but 25. So we give incentive to our all the employees for all the investigations. Counselor getting separate incentive, and OPD staff getting separate incentive for OCT, angiography, indirect also because they do everything, I do nothing. And hire your staff for attitude, not for trained staff. We will train them. We will train them. I take raw optometry. I have my own optometry college. So I pick up the student from there and teach them according to me what I want to them. They are tota. जो मैं मरीज को बोलता होता वो आज पीछे मेरे बैठे वहां बोल रहे होंगे. They have become tota क्योंकि वो they have raw. Whatever I taught them, they don't know anything other than this. If I have said sac massage में ये करना है सब, they will speak the same words. So this is the raw. Pick up from the raw, and they make them imitate. Henry Ford said very rightly, you can take my factory, burn up my buildings, give my people back, I will build the business right back again. Very powerful. If you have that. So you should have faith in your staff. This is the one important factor for branding and your successful practice. Are you too busy to say, we are doing this thing. 90% of us are doing this. I was also doing it for 5-7 years back. Subah morning, early morning, 8 o'clock up to 8 p.m. we are roaming around. OPD 50, 60, 70, we are happy. Then OT 1, 2, 10, we are happy. Wow. You do 100 OPD, you do 10. Yes. But not almost 8 to 10 like this. Because others, let other people do your work. You are doctor, you are not the AC technician, the AC खराब हो गया है, मैं sweeper नहीं आया. This is not your job in the hospital. Keep some person. You are doctors, you do only surgery, surgery and surgery. Cause spending too much time in the business rather than working on the business. This is important thing. Staying busy focusing on wrong things. And working on the, basically we want to work more and more and more, but earn less, less and less. Principle should be work less, 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 and work more. Especially after 45, 40, 50 years, your aim should be changed. Young people, they can work. We are still working more than 12 hours per day, but not in the medical profession, in different things, out of medical patient, to earn the money. Okay. So, differentiation, based skill, price and technology, unique customer experience is the important thing. This I'm just short में I will say. आप कहीं से जब कॉफ़ी निकलती है बाग में जाओगे तो 10 रुपए की मिलती है, पैक होके वो 25 की मिलती है, जब वो आपको सर्व करते हैं 50 की मिलती है, बट व्हेन यू गो टू द गुड होटल एक्सपीरियंस दे विल गेट 50 रुपीस, 150 रुपीस. तो दिस इज ब्रांडिंग. आप अगर ब्रांड होंगे तो आपको 550 लेने से कोई नहीं रोकेगा. नोबडी विल आस्क यू. कमल ट्राइंग टू फिनिश इन 1 मिनट टाइम. देन अदर एक्सपीरियंस इज आपका कॉस्मेटिक, आपका दिस कंटेंट लाइन पार्ट एंड द प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. This is a long chapter. We can discuss. You should concentrate on this part. This is the best earning for you. Then patient experience.
We will have to roll up.
हो गया लास्ट ही बढ़ दिया मैंने. We have wrong focus. कि patient is visited by patient will be happy. No. The first time patient enters your premises, from the parking, reception, or your or reception, counseling, operation, everywhere patient should have a smile on his face post day. And with patient पे सिर्फ बस विजन दे हुए आपका स्टाफ बदतमीजी से बात करेगा, आपके यहाँ सफाई नहीं, हाइजीन नहीं है, पेशेंट अनकंफर्टेबल है, वेटिंग टाइम ज़्यादा है, he will never praise you outside. So this is not a brand. Brand means everything should be well. So I'm just coming last. So have a good website. Google will cover here. Now I have to say, forget about these books. You have read a lot of books. You are coming convert, don't deny it. Purchase the instrument, got the instrument, give more time there. Everything is available on Google. Why you are wasting time in the lecture all so much? Attend the practice management time type session. That is more important. How to invest the money, your money, earning money. That is more important. And now you should invest in these things. Economy, business book, how they earn the money. You should read these books. This type of conference should be for doctors now. Not like cataract, glaucoma, retina, what we already know. Thank you very much.
I think that was very wonderful. I think one closing sentence, when we all become doctors, somewhere down the line it's ingrained in us that money is a bad word. Believe me, money is not a bad word. You earn it ethically, scientifically, and let me tell you, you as ophthalmologist are one of the most skilled race of human beings on planet Earth. I have friends who are neurosurgeons, I have friends who are orthopedic surgeons, and they all are in awe how we work. When sometimes they see us edit our videos, when they see our vitreoretinal surgeries, and they say, yaar, aap log ek alag generation ho. So let us start respecting ourselves and take remuneration for what we actually deserve. Do not undersell yourself. That's what Dr. Sudhanshu said. Dr. Isha is going to talk about now amplifying your presence on social media. I think we'll have to go fast, Isha, because the previous speakers have taken long. We need some time for Dr. Sotali also.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank Dr. Kamal sir and AIOC for giving me this opportunity. So in today's topic, I'll be walking you through how we can actually use social media as a powerful tool to boost our visibility and connect to the audiences more meaningfully. So for that, we need to know what is marketing. So we need to connect with the target audience at the right time and at the right place. So this is the essence of the marketing. It's not just about promotion. Rather, we should be connecting to our audience more. That will make our journey much easier. So what are the types of marketing? It can be above the line, below the line, or in-house marketing. Above the line would be when we are connecting with the mass media. And then below the line, like if it's a targeted audience through camps, pamphlets, and home-to-home campaigning. And in-house marketing, in-clinic branding, as sir has already mentioned. So that is how, this is the offline marketing. But online marketing is the social media marketing. So most importantly, why we are choosing more and more online platforms these days. You would be amazed to know that about 2.62 billion people are already on online platforms till 2018, and by 2020 it has already surpassed 4 billion. So more and more the smartphone usage is coming along, and there is an improved internet access. Obviously this is getting more and more commoner these days. And more importantly, it gives a competitive edge. And supposedly if a patient comes in a hospital, before coming to a hospital, he will first like to look at what number of reviews that particular hospital is having, the number of likes it is having, and only based on that they make the first decision while coming to a hospital. And it is much cheaper than the above the line and below the line medias that I have already told you. So what are the objectives when we are thinking of marketing ourselves? It will be like awareness of the product, the brand promotion, increasing the interest, and then the leads, and then finally converting them into increasing the footfall. There are several other tools on social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp and Google Ads. There are plenty options where we can advertise ourselves and get more recognized. So what exactly to put on a social media? We should not be clueless and putting random things. We should know what exactly we can go about. So starting with, we can put some informative campaigns, just informing the patients about their clinical condition, and most importantly as that the patients we get is cataract. So first informing regarding what it is, and also it will be helpful when we inform them in their own language, like Hindi is being most preferred language in North and Delhi areas, South, then in their own regional languages, even that can be done. But this can start with, we can provide some informative campaigns. Then what are the services are being provided by that hospital? Even that will include like, and it will be better if we also mention what are the advanced procedures that we are doing in that particular field. Like it's a blade-free cataract procedure we are doing, femto and all these things. So people will be more informed. They'll think that yes, it's a much better hospital that we can go to, not the old and traditional things are being followed. So they are more interested in that. Other than that, whenever we are hiring any staff or doctors and optometrists, even that can be put on social media. Then whenever the festivals are coming, it's more important that in each festival, if you are putting along with your brand and then also mentioning your phone number and everything, so they'll always be informed regarding this particular hospital is good and something like that. And whatever the achievements the hospital is in achieving in the field of ophthalmology, it's much easier that we are keep mentioning this and providing it on social media, so that people are well aware that this is not a means it's growing, and this particular hospital is much better than in all aspects. The most important thing that we can put is the reviews and the testimonials of the patient, because this is something that the people will connect more. They'll know that this is from the patient's point of view and patient's perspectives, so they'll be more attracted towards coming to our hospital. Then live sessions can be given, as Dr. Vineet keeps doing them. So it's much informative again for the patients, and again they connect more and they try to understand about their condition, and then it's easier for them to approach. Then any social activities and campaigns that can also be put. Then what are the tips for social media posts? Most importantly, it should be very short and attractive. And it cannot be a long paragraph mentioned and people will just ignore reading the whole thing. So it should be more pictorial, so that while seeing the pictures only they are able to understand it more in a better way. And it should be relevant for the target audience. Like when we are talking about aged people, older people, then cataract if we are mentioning, so it will like what they can understand, only that way is the post can be designated. Then for younger generation, when we are talking about LASIK and SMILE and all refractive procedures to remove spectacles, that is how it should be targeting the target audience. And again, complete details, whom to contact, and that particular social media post should also be directing it to the main website of the hospital. So services profile, as I said, should be complete, because any incomplete profile is a lost opportunity. So treat your page like your own clinic, and it should be much more inviting and informative whenever you're putting any services profile, like to provide the cover and profile photo, what services are being offered, what's the address, complete address, the Google location, phone number, email ID, and what are the OPD timings, and everything should be informed on the page itself. Range of the charges can also be provided, it's your choice. And then again, target audience is the most important thing whenever we are advertising ourselves. What is the ideal age group, the services that are mainly targeted to them, that can be informed. Then as I said, live sessions and short videos are anytime more engaging than just putting a simple post. One thing that is important, that we need to engage the patients, not just we are not doing it just for the views. If the patient visits a page and they are just viewing it and doing nothing beyond that, then it's not going to suffice. So it's best to engage the patient, to interact with the patients, to refer to their queries so that they'll know that what is being done in this hospital, and then they'll like to book appointments with us as well. So this is a value pyramid that first, like, we can mention that what are the things they are expecting. Like, they want freedom from glasses. So starting from that, that's where the patient is getting engaged. And then what can be done in the hospital? LASIK checkup is done or not. We can put some online LASIK eligibility criteria so that they know if they belong to this criteria. And ultimately, while looking on these things, they'll finally book the appointment. So before knowing all these things, we should know what is retargeting and remarketing. So retargeting is something for new patients. We are not doing it for current patients. These are those patients who just put their views but didn't do anything on the website. So anybody which has the person who has visited the website but they have not scheduled any consultation, it is first our goal to first target these patients. So this would be retargeting. But when we say remarketing, it is something that we already have in our database. These are all those patients who have already visited and they are already in our database. So they are the ones who are we are doing to do a remarketing. So in this, why we want to sell them some additional services. Like, they have come for some other purpose, so we'll let them know that what are the other new services that are coming along. So that is how we are doing remarketing for this patient. Then there is something known as paid marketing that can be done via Facebook, some Google ads, Twitter and LinkedIn. Then comes, again, as I said, engagement is any time better than just attracting views. Because a smaller audience, even if we are getting a smaller audience that is interacting more, is any time more valuable than passive large viewer counts. So again, the same thing for engaging the patients. What we need is more better posts, like using pictorial graphs and videos, and most importantly, responding to the audience queries and providing them live sessions so that they are getting more engaged. Then what are the advantages of social media marketing? As I said, it's cheaper, much cheaper than the above the line, below the line.
You will have to roll up because there are three more speakers.
Right. Okay. So we can retarget the clients, and other than that, it's not a single person job. You need to have a dedicated team for that, for providing a content, promotion and engagement with the patients. So why start today? Because if you do later, anytime the competitors will take place in front of you. And then there is also a lag time in the search engine time, that is 30 to 45 days. So anytime you need to start much earlier than you can think of. Most importantly, when we are thinking of, yes, social media is a good way, we have to know that there are some pitfalls as well. If you are spreading yourself too thin and you are not using enough visuals, not involving your audience, then there is again no use. And other than that, we need to not just keep putting efforts on posting. We need to analyze what are the efforts, where are the efforts are being going to. We have to keep collecting the data and then converting them into a footfall. Remember one thing, that social media must be actively managed, because if you are not doing that, it can act as a double-edged sword. And supposedly, if you're not answering the queries, the patients might be just ignoring the hospital and they might go to other hospital. And again, negative reviews, anything can come online. Everything has to be dealt in a professional manner. So ultimately, the take-home message would be that social marketing is an important tool for increasing any reach to the potential patients. And post should always be relevant to the target audience, and it is much cheaper and has anytime a higher reach than going through the offline route.
Thank you very much, Isha. And it's very important that you have a good social media channel if you have a clinic or a hospital. And now I would like to invite Kamal sir, and he would be talking about how to wow tips on delighting your unhappy patient, and he is a master of this. Whenever we are in trouble, whether in clinical or in our patient segment, we always refer the patient to him, and whatever the patient mood is there, when he enters his clinic and when he comes out, he comes laughing. हम सोचते हैं सर ये करते क्या हो, ये जोक सुनाते हो क्या आप उसको? So that is how we would like to basically listen to sir.
So, okay, I think this is a very, very important topic. This actually impacts who we are. How our patients leave the clinic or the room is the reflection of who I was to them. So I always want the patient to go happy because I want the world to know I'm a happy person. So I'll try and roll this 12 minutes presentation in 7 to 8 minutes. So what they didn't teach us in a medical college is a lot of stuff. They taught us the skills, the surgical skills, the clinical skills, but nobody taught us the human relationship, the human interaction, how to take away somebody's pain, how to give a part of your happiness to somebody. Unhappiness is a state of mind. It is always a state of mind. And a state, when you say this is a liquid state, this is a gas state, this is a solid, these are states. And guess what? States can be changed. So if you're happy, unhappy state of mind, be sure it can be changed. You can never say कि ये patient तो ऐसा ही है, ये नहीं बदलेगा. I've never seen a patient, like when a patient says, Doctor साहब मेरा diabetes ठीक नहीं हो सकता. I tell them there is no diabetes which cannot be treated. You're not eating right, you're not exercising, you're not taking proper medication, you're not taking insulin. Period, over. So there is no patient who can not be happy. You should know how to tickle that right spot. So best situation is surgeon is happy, patient is happy. Wow, fantastic. Surgeon is unhappy, but the patient is happy. It's fine. You think something has gone wrong in the surgery, but patient is okay with it. It's best scenario. Then is surgeon is happy, but the patient is unhappy. You can't figure out what's going wrong. Worst is surgeon is unhappy, patient is unhappy. Ye medical legal case ho gaya, 100%. Because you are unhappy, you are angry with the patient is angry with you. So let us see. Human nature, we need to adapt. When Darwin said that survival of the fittest is, well, he didn't mean fittest was the strongest or the fastest or the most intelligent. What he meant was the most adaptable. So we need to be adaptable. The current situation of our practice says that patient outlook is changing, patient demands are changing, we need to change. All patients are aspirational now. आप ये देखिए कि people are having 2 televisions. I remember my father would say, why do people have 2 watches? I myself have 7 watches now. You have 2 cars. Ladies, I'm sure, have 10 pairs of footwear.
10.
So the outlook is changing. So why are you feeling bad when your patient's outlook is changing? He wants more from you. So multi-layered patient unhappiness, the reasons are there. There's not just one reason. Don't think that you've done something wrong. It could be patient has had a fight with his boss. It was that there was unruly parking, as Dr. Anjani said. Maybe the reception waiting was long. It's a multi-layered unhappiness. So you need to learn to listen. The moment you start listening, solutions are given by your patient. Believe me, most patients will give you solution to their unhappiness. You just need to listen. We come on a defensive. Patient मेरी clinic के बारे में ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया, मेरे doctor के बारे में ऐसे बोल दिया, I'm one of the best surgeons, कैसे बोल दिया? You become defensive. When you become defensive, your listening stops. You start listening and you can solve the problem. Sometimes it could be a simple thing like being overcharged. Patient thinks that the bill is too high. Patient thinks the waiting was long. Patient thinks that the receptionist was not good. So a lot of times it's a miscommunication. You have said something, patient has not heard it right. And he's thinking that something has gone wrong. You need to re-emphasize, okay, this is what I meant. I can understand that this is the way you have misunderstood me, but this is the way it was. So make sure that the communication channels are open. Now let me understand. Everybody wants to be happy. Even your most angry patient is looking for you to make him happy. He is not come here to fight. He is come here to show his displeasure. Take the displeasure. Don't give it back. It's like suppose I hand a phone to somebody and he takes it. Do I have the phone with me? No, it's gone. So when the patient is giving you anger, displeasure, complaint, take it. And then say, yes sir, I understand आपका waiting था बहुत ज़्यादा. मेरे साथ भी ऐसा होता तो I would have felt bad. बिल्कुल, you're not wrong in feeling this thing, but sometimes sir these things happen. I'm a surgeon, there was a complicated surgery. I understand your compassion. I'll see you right now, and next time I'll put a word to the reception. How can I make it up to you? How can I make sure that next time आपके साथ ऐसा नहीं हो? Please call your manager, say please, yes sir, next time late नहीं होने चाहिए. Sir, are you sure I made you happy? Yes, Dr. Kapoor, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. Next time, can I get my wife also? This is what you do. Take the complaint. Don't give it back. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है, क्लिनिक में तो ऐसे ही होता है हमेशा. So what? We can't help it. So where is the complaint? He's taking it back with him. We can do the same with our spouses. They give you a complaint, take it. बोला हाँ मैं ऐसा हूँ, मैं संडे को सारा दिन कॉन्फ्रेंस रहता हूँ, मैं क्या करूँ यार, मैं ऐसा हूँ, अभी बताओ क्या कर सकते हैं, मंडे को डिनर चल सकते हैं. So take it away. Approach to the patient is always, when you seeing an unhappy patient, so what happens is that these people tell me, sir ये आंटी है बहुत लड़ाई कर रही है, please आपके रूम में भेज दिया. So when the patient walks in, मेरे को पूरा background, I know the whole background, why is the patient unhappy, but I act as if I know nothing. Hello Mrs. Basin, how are we today? I believe Dr. Vinita sent you to me, how can I help you? वो तो 50% energy is already down because I'm smiling. I'm not saying, yes madam, you have some problem? No. Hello Mrs. Basin, how are you today? Dr. Vinita just told me that you want to see me because she said I want to see the boss. Yes, how can I help you? You're looking very nice, ma'am. Ab boliye, ma'am, how can I help you? Dr. Kapoor, what is this? What is this? What is this? I say, Suppose 10 complaints, make sure you listen and then repeat in the same order and say, okay, so Mrs. Basin, let me tell you, I've heard you. You think that the medications prescribed were over. Okay. Now, the lift was not working. Yes. One of the medicine is stinging your eyes. Yes. The reception counter was more crowded. Yes. So when you narrated all the complaints, what she has said, I've taken it away. She knows she's come to a place where she's being heard. She's come to a place, to a doctor who's listening to her. And then I say, okay, out of these 10 problems, ma'am, 6 are taken care of. 4, unfortunately, are procedures. I can't help. There's a form to be filled at the reception. And you see, Dr. Vinith is a very meticulous surgeon. He likes to take a good history. So you will take 15 minutes for him. And then, after everything is over, I always ask, as Dr. Anjani said, is there anything that we can do to make you more happy? Dr. Kapoor, you made me so happy. Such a fantastic place. So when she entered, she wanted to shoot me. When she leaves, she usually tells me, by the way, Dr. Kapoor, my daughter is getting married 2 months. Can I get a LASIK done? So this is how you change this state. So unhappiness is a state of mind. What you need to do is very, very good listening. To be a good speaker, you need to be a good listener. So first listen, take the patients away. So effective listening, quick thinking, being in emotional control. Never, never, never lose temper. There are times when I'm losing temper because patient is very, very rude to the staff or some lady staff. So what I say is, I tell them, ma'am, I know you're angry. What you've just said is making me a little uncomfortable. Can I just leave you in the room alone? I want to go take a walk after 1 minute because I want to again listen to you. Right now, my state of mind is not letting me listen to you. I just leave the patient. I tell the manager, ma'am ko ek chai do, thanda pani do, main ek walk karke aa raha hu. I just go for 30 seconds, cool my mind, come back again. Then I say, yes ma'am, how can I help you? So the patient realizes, if the doctor can cool himself in 20 seconds, why can't I? I set an example. So you can do that. You tell the patient, ma'am, can I just take 1 minute break, can I come back? Suppose you don't want to be so frank, I'm very frank with the patient. You can just say, ma'am, just sit, there's something very important, I'm coming in a minute. Cool yourself, come back again. Never lose temper with an angry patient because then this is going to escalate. Never be in a hurry, always have an eye contact. And if you have an angry patient, possible to make a body contact. Like a lot of times there's a patient sitting on slit lamp and he's saying this. So what I do is, it's an old lady, I just hold their hand, yes, Maji, मैं आपका problem समझ रहा हूँ, मैं आपका दिक्कत समझ रहा हूँ. Dr. Kapoor बार-बार review के लिए बुला रहे हैं. There's a patient who's got a problem, let's say endophthalmitis XYZ. She's coming with a driver, she's pain. Dr. Kapoor, I'm old, I don't have a driver, I need to take a cab. So then I say, okay, how can I sort it out for you? Hold their hand, call the manager, okay, can we have less waiting for her? Can we have an Uber pick and drop up for her? Can you arrange an Uber on the next appointment? So the patient suddenly feels that the whole system wants to help her. We are not against her, we are with her trying to treat the patient. Whenever, please, as I said, take the complaint away, take the problem away, listen to the patient. Again, when you're losing temper, just relax. Catch yourself that you're going to lose temper. Step back, then start talking again. Remain calm. And once the patient is speaking, please don't interrupt. You can only fill the vessel once it has been emptied. If you interrupt an angry patient, you are not going to make him happy. Let him speak. A lot of times they say, Dr. Kapoor, I have so much to say, but I will not say it. You have such a long waiting. I said, ma'am, I will stop the world to listen to you. I will stop the whole hospital to listen to you. Tell me what is bothering you. And then also, once you finish, ma'am, give me a solution to the problem. What can we do to make you happy again? All the things. Doctor, can you make sure next time come, consultation is not charged, and I'm not taken, I'm not made to wait. Okay, ma'am, done. So the patient herself has given me the solution to the problem. Suppose she's been waiting, suppose there's something wrong, wrong medication, wrong prescription of glasses. Say, what can we do to undo this? The patient will give you a solution. If it's small, do it. This patient is going to get you 3 more patients next time, believe me. Happy environment. Make sure your staff is always happy. They are smiling, they are very jovial. So I always make sure that people around me are happy, they are enjoying themselves, chatting, talking to patients. Kaise hai ma'am? Abhi drop dal rahi hai. If the patient is waiting unnecessarily, as Dr. Anji said, give them something to read. We have a trick. We have our optometrist talking to the patient. Suppose the patients are waiting, one optometrist says, okay, आप में से कितने लोग काला मोतिया के बारे में जानते हैं? He'll just speak for 2 minutes on glaucoma. He'll go. Somebody will say, LASIK के बारे में कौन जानता? So if optometrist is passing, he sees there's nobody there, he'll have a conversation with patients, like public speaking. So patients are engaged, they are connected with the optometrist, they are connecting with the organization. A lot of times patients are having personal issues. Their husband is not well, somebody in the family is suffering from cancer. This is where it comes out, the anger comes out. So a lot of times I tell them, ma'am, whatever you're saying is absolutely fine, I can understand. Is there something troubling you also? Yes, doctor, my husband is suffering from cancer, he's going at chemotherapy, I have to get back home early. Have the empathy. Tell the patient, yes ma'am, we understand. Next time I will ensure there's no waiting, this is taken care of, and you will get a smooth ride. This patient is not going anywhere, believe me. There are times when we book patients, cabs for patients to come and work, always reassure the patient, empathy. If the patient has given a written complaint, make sure it has been complied. The patient is called back that your complaint has been received, we are working on it, and call back to complete the issue. Let's say there was an issue with the lift or the something. Patient has given a written complaint. The manager calls the patient, says, ma'am, this complaint has been taken. We are so thankful you brought it to our notice. Next time you come, please see me and tell me, have we improved to your level of expectation? These patients will drag patients by hair to your clinic. Believe me. This is a simple trick. When people tell me, ki, sir, aap magic karte ho, there's no magic, common sense. Always look for insights, patient will give you feedbacks. There are a lot of times they look angry, but they will give you a very good feedback. Take the feedback, note it, document complaints, and sometimes the patient is not getting sorted out. Please keep a written record of the complaint given, action taken, because some patients will go to medical legal. You cannot make all of them happy, and this is where my next teammate will come. And in case the patient says, I want to take a second opinion, encourage it. Tell them, sir, I want you to take a second opinion. There may be something I may have missed. Please help me. Then the patient knows that you're not on an ego, but never be a doormat. It should be done gently with authority and confidence. Don't become a doormat. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And these are the pearls which everyone should incorporate in his practice. So now I would be requesting Dr. Karthikeyan to basically talk about medico-legal aspects. So as sir said, some people would come to the court. So what are the things which you should basically do when you are seeing the patients, and sometimes the high-risk patients, and if you think that these patients are going to go to the court, what are the various steps you should see?
So I'll be brief. There are lots of slides, but I'll quickly talk about only 2 things. What do you document and how do you take a consent? It's not a small topic, but I'll try to squeeze it in as few minutes as possible because there are our keynote speakers waiting. So every patient is a potential medical legal case, as opposed to everything that has been spoken before about treating positively, having a positive outlook. You should also have this caution at the back of your mind that every patient is a potential medical legal patient, and the potential of them turning into medical legal patients is increasing every day. There's only one thing that will help you, that can help you if and when the case turns medical legal, is documentation. There's only one more thing that can help you more than documentation, that is more documentation. Not documented, not done. You may have measured blood pressure 100 times before taking the patient up for surgery. If the patient ends up having an expulsive, there is no record of normal BP in your preoperative records. the board is going to open the case and shut the case because there's no excuse for not documenting. CRVO patient, you may have spent half an hour telling him about the risk of a neovascular glaucoma. If you have not written that he needs to come back to you regularly for the next 3 months, 6 months, whatever is your protocol, and the patient ends up with, with a neovascular glaucoma, there is no excuse. I will skip all of this. So medical records are important, EMR is important. More than any of these points, it's right now it is to protect the hospital and the treating physician. I'm going to skip all of this. So when you document, make sure all of these is important. Your patient's presenting complaint is also important. A lot of times it's about establishing duty. What is it that you owe to the patient before you, when the case actually goes to the court. So note the presenting complaint. The patient might have just come for a glass prescription. You don't owe much to that patient. So you have to owe service before the patient can actually demand for accountability from you. So everything is important. Drug history, past surgeries, documenting the findings, everything is important. I recommend that you actually document the potential complications in your OPD sheet, not just in your consent sheets. Write about the grade of the cataract. Is there a subluxation? Is it small pupil? What can you expect? What is the risk of FAK? What is the risk of nucleus drop? Document everything in your OPD sheet. Repeat this again in your consent as a second layer of protection. Write your diagnosis. Spend time. I'm just going to take you through these 4 slides. Take extra effort to fill in one line about the rationale behind your treatment. If the patient is 6'6", N6, if you're choosing to not treat, write why you're choosing to not treat. Patient is 6'6", N6, you're choosing to treat, write your rationale behind treat. The court will not question you for over-treating or under-treating. We all have different judgments. We all come from different backgrounds and training. As long as you're able to reasonably justify your need for treatment, it is done. The last line here is actually from Kamal sir. Whenever you're advising a refractive surgery, write that you're advising it to meet patient's requirement for reduced spectacle dependence. Take an effort to document alternatives that you've discussed and the risks and benefits of alternatives. You want to do a cataract surgery? Yes, advise it. Alternative is you wear glasses or you don't do surgery. Risks and benefits of both the procedures. Explain natural course of the illness. A lot of times patients will not trouble you if you have already told them there is vitreomacular traction, you are doing a cataract surgery. The patient may end up with macular hole not because of the cataract surgery, because the patient has vitreomacular traction. If you have told them there is a certain number of patients who end up with macular hole, the patient will not trouble you. Document everything, including telephonic conversations. You may have actually given some advice on the phone. Although you don't have duty for telephonic conversations, there's no harm in documenting, will make your life easier. Document even the telephonic reminders you've given to follow up. Write it in your case records that you've discussed these things with the patient in the presence of the family relative. Sometimes people put relatives on phone. Document that. Discussed in the presence of this person on the phone, who's also a medical doctor. List the major and likely complications in the OPD sheets. I'll quickly go to the consent form. You know, when I was working in the UK, we used to read out the consent for cataract surgery. The first line in the complication is 1 in 1,000 risk of losing sight because of endophthalmitis detachment. The number was 1 in 1,000. If you tell this to our patients, a lot of them may actually not end up consenting for surgery. So you use your nuance. There should be a balance in what you're telling, but at the same time, do not trivialize surgery. Do not overpromise. My standard line is there risks with the surgery? Absolutely. You take a paracetamol for your fever, there is 1 in 10 lakh risk that you may end up with fulminant hepatic failure, needing a liver transplant. So there's nothing without risk. Traveling in a bus, risk. Traveling in a plane, risk. Sitting under a ceiling fan, risk. There is risk with everything. Document your risks. If there are any special unusual risks, document, discuss them with patients. Also document the complications and communicate the complications. This is where a lot of patients are unhappy, and unhappy patients are the ones who take you to the court. A lot of them say that this was not mentioned to me. The surgery has gone wrong, but it was not. We were just patched up and we were called for a review tomorrow. We were not told the IOL was not put. We were not told a part of the cataract is still in the eye, in the vitreous cavity. We were not told a second surgery will be needed. Prime the patient soon after the surgery. It need not be explicitly in very colorful words to increase patient anxiety, but some sort of communication, depending on the situation, depending on the patient's profile, depending on the patient's education level, in the language, with kind demeanor, please communicate it to patients. This is where most of us go wrong. Do not document complication, do not communicate about complications. I will skip all of this, and I think we've also run out of time, so I will, is that okay? Is waiting. So there is no alternative to documentation. Spend extra few minutes documenting. It will help you in the long run. Thank you.
I think Karthik was, it was not just on all of us to squeeze him out, but just to lighten the mood, Dr. Chatalia, for all of you who don't know him, he is known for his wit and humor, and he's going to be doing laughter in ophthalmology. And the king of that, Dr. Muscati, is sitting in the background. He's just seeing one of his juniors take his role. I think one of the best humor in Indian ophthalmology is the man sitting behind there.
And presence of mind.
And one of the most well-dressed men I've seen, Dr. Muscati.
Good morning, friends. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Lalit Verma, President of this Congress, Dr. Namrata, Chairperson of AIOSC, as well as my friend Kamal, who is my friend since almost 2 decades, and I share a couple of things in common with him, that the name of his son is Vyom, and the name of my grandson is also Vyom. And I will be sharing one slide also. Laughter, a cost-free, instant best medicine. My agenda, laughter as a whole, physiology, psychosomatology, types of laughter, benefits, medical humor, tips to develop humor, quotes about humor, summary. Disclaimer that no intention to defame anybody, no financial interest to be disclosed. Naming anybody is either coincidental or intentional selection just for the purpose of fun and not to hurt anyone. Laughter as a whole, components of laughter, it is a set of gestures, the audio effects our body performs as rhythmic, vocalized expiratory and involuntary action known as laughter. Study of humor or laughter and its psychological as well as physiological effects upon human body is called gilatology. Physiology of laughter, we can say that it stimulates heart, lungs and muscles, enhances intake of oxygen, sets off flow of stress hormones, which are increasing, suppressing this immune system, and which would have raised otherwise blood pressure. Laughter causes increased number of killer cells that destroy tumors and viruses. T cells increase gamma interferon, increase beta cells which make disease-destroying antibodies. There is a stimulation of zygomatic major muscles, lifting of upper lip in the laughter. Respiratory system is upset by epiglottis, up closing of the larynx and making us gasp. In extreme circumstances, tear ducts are activated, resulting into opening of the mouth and closing, and thereby struggle for oxygen intake continues, which causes face to become moist and red. Laughter provides a way for those emotions stored as negative emotions such as anger, which earlier Kamal has also told, sadness, fear to be harmlessly released rather than expressing them. It is cathartic, keeps negative emotions away which are held inside and causing biochemical changes affecting our bodies. Laughter gives diaphragm, abdominal, respiratory, facial, leg as well as back muscles a workout. We feel exhausted after a long bout of laughter, just like we had an aerobic workout. Laughter causes hiccuping and coughing, resulting into cleaning of respiratory tract by dislodging the mucus plugs. It also increases concentration of salivary immunoglobulins, which defend against infectious organisms entering through the respiratory tract. These are various types of laughter. We will not go into detail, just there are etiquette just to show. It is as if I would call it to pretend as if we are laughing. So there are many other, these contagious, nervous, belly, silent, pigeon laughing, snoring, cruel, and all these things. Benefits of laughter, as we have already discussed, that Facts about laughter. The average child laughs about 150 times a day. The average adult laughs only 15 times a day. Exposure to laughter has shown to reduce stress, as we have already discussed. Humor has shown to enhance group problem solving. Babies start to chuckle when they are as young as 29 days. 100 laughs equal to 10 minutes of aerobic exercise. Laughter releases the tension around even the heaviest of matters. The best part of laughter is that it is contagious. Humor between married couples contribute to marital satisfaction. Laughter is a sunshine in a house and most civilized music in the world. We do not laugh because we are happy, but we are happy because we laugh. That is why somebody is right that you don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing. Take the instant vacation that laughter is as often as possible and you will start finding life more meaningful and the world a better place to live. We have already discussed this thing. I will not go into detail. Now medical humor. These are my own created. In emergency laparotomy was being performed of a patient with acute intestinal obstruction after swallowing a fish. After an exhausting surgery of 2 hours, the surgeon came out of OT and told to the relatives of the patient, "You are lucky as the patient has swallowed a fish with precious pulse, which will enable you people to pay my fees as well as his antim kriya." And nowadays, as you know, there are various corporate hospitals are there. So an unconscious patient was brought in an emergency ward. A cheat was found from his pocket mentioning that my appendix has been removed thrice. I am an epileptic patient. I was traveling to Ahmedabad with my other ophthalmologist colleagues to attend Gujarat State Conference. I was sitting beside the driver of the Innova. We were discussing about various topics, sports, politics, movies, etc. I was one of the active participants in the discussion. When we crossed Limdi, the topic was changed and my other friends started talking about LASIK, femtosecond, flying sport, etc. and whatnot. I remained silent during this discussion. When we got down at Ahmedabad, the driver came to me and said, "All these guys seem to be ophthalmologists. What about you?" Long back, before 3 decades, one of my friends came to see me at my home. My elder daughter was playing in the corridor. My friend asked her, "Betty, is your daddy there?" She told, "No, he has gone for IOL surgery." My friend was surprised to hear these words from her. He asked her, "Do you know about IOL surgery?" "Of course." She told, "It means 5,000 bucks. One day I was changing the post-operative dressing of an elderly debilitated patient. I told the patient that be careful, get down slowly from the table as orthopedic surgeons are quite costlier. Immediately the patient's son utters, "I know, sir, that you are a very close friend of Dr. Lakhani, who is orthopedic surgeon, Junagadh, and very close friend of mine, and he is supposed to be quite costliest. As I have been doing up-down since 27 years between Junagadh and Jaipur."
Dr. Chotalia, we need to roll up. Dr. Muscati is very patiently looking at all of us.
Most of my patients at Jaipur are not known to my family. So I was moving in a mall at Rajkot with my wife. One beautiful lady glanced at me with a broad smile. I reciprocated her with a great smile. My wife was annoyed to see. She said, "Who is she?" I explained her that we know each other professionally. She said me, "Tirchi Najar se, by whose profession, yours or her?" One gentleman met with an accident near railway station and he had been to my same friend and he was very much worried. So he asked, "Doctor, would I be all right as before?" My friend told that, "I am not sure about that, but you will be able to walk just now." Patient said, "Wow, how is it?" My friend told that, "I will acquire your car as my fees." An ENT surgeon and a gynecologist were having their clinics nearby due to heavy marriage season. The gynecologist had to attend a marriage, so he requested the ENT neighbor to run his OPD for few hours. The ENT surgeon was examining a lady by putting sim speculum, and he asked the lady to say, this is the, I think, the same slide. Patient may come like that, modern patient, and int ka jawab pathar se denge. So modern doctor will be like this, that patient will be charged extra for enabling the doctor with any self-diagnosis gotten from the internet. This is also a kind of this modern technology. This is about anesthetists, and I will not go say. Now in the era of AI, this thing may also happen, that sonographically it will say that, let me guess, these twins were conceived during Navratri. I operated one lady with 9 daughters. I informed
Dr.
the
Chotalia, I've got a thing for them to shut it off.
Okay. So figure out what makes you laugh and do it, or read it or watch it more often. Surround yourself with funny people. Develop your own sense of humor. Be funny every chance you get, as long as it is not some of else expenses. Summary: never think hard about the past, it brings tears. Don't think more about the future, it brings fear. Think more about plenty of humorous moments and live it present, then no tears, no fears, and have must life, which brings cheers. Thanks a lot for patient hearing, as well as I would like to tell one thing, that in our Gujarati, it is said that if I have hurt anybody, please kindly apologize me. In spite of that, if you still feel hurt, thaya kari lejo, meaning by that you can do whatever you want to do. Thank you.